So yeah, if you watched part one and didn't fall asleep or anything, or cut. Um, yes, if you're watching part one and didn't fall asleep, just cut out close the video because you thought it was boring. We left off at grenades, and that's where we're going to continue at. We're going to talk about the implementations of grenades in the context where they're appropriate. Of course, grenades are going to work where your player's behind the wall, that you know where he is. It's going to penetrate well, and where the player is within blast radius. Anywhere within the blast radius. Maybe right up against a grenade or whatever. It's just basically anywhere where it can hit, and I think you can automatically think of what exactly I'm talking about, regardless of the game you're playing. Yes, so now next thing we're going to cover is applications of different types of thinking, which is going to help in the game. I'm going to cover a few that I know for sure, and this part of the video I think is going to be very short for that reason. I'm trying to sum up everything. Yes, so basically get to know your game. The thinking that knowledge is power definitely applies here. You know, before you play anything, try out each gun, see what it does, see what it doesn't do. Try to use a dummy player if you can to see how much damage it does and everything, and see, basically what it's optimal to use. And why? It's because, even if you're playing a fair game, quote unquote, there's going to be a lot of people using the most powerful weapon in the map, so, use your weapon to choose. So choose your appropriate weapon and everything. Of course, use weapons in combination, because, always, sometimes you'll just have a small clip for what you're doing and everything. Basically think of everything, in terms of the work done versus the work that needs to be done, and, work here being the damage you're doing. So, yes, and, of course, think opportunistically, work with what you can and do as much as you can with it. Understand that everything in the game, because it has a use, it therefore has a value. I know that value is a definite, way to see use is a definite way to see value. Wow, that was weird. So yes, take whatever you can get your hands on in the game. Of course, don't cheat. That will get you kicked off. That will, make you lose every person in your friends list. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit. And I'm probably, not really being very context appropriate, but whatever. I think you get what I mean. And yes, so wring as much as you can out of it. You have a sniper. All you can use is a sniper. Snipe the crap out of everything. You have a fully automatic weapon. Just beam everything with it. The more you and yes, so back to what I was saying before. The more you know about the game, you're better going to do, and your success is going to be proportional to how much you know and how much muscle you have. And your muscle is going to be a complex of your help, like other players, and your practice. That's pretty much all I can think of that really helps you. Of course, help is more abstract than that. It could be guns, but forget about the words that I'm using here. Just think about what I'm saying. That's going to be what's more important. That is my message to you. Yes. So your success is going to be equal to your help and your practice. So yes, practice, practice, practice. Learn as much about the game as you can. And constantly have something in mind. Of course, get creative. A lot of creativist logic, works here. If you can pretend to be away from the controller in game, definitely do that. I mean, a lot of people say it's cheap, whatever, but it's really not. Because the way I see it, it's not cheating or anything, and it's really not that much of a cheap tactic. Other people should know about. Other people already know about this trick. It's common knowledge, so do not feel bad about using it. And a lot of people naturally want to kill people that are away from the controller. They want to corner snipe or whatever, or snipe people that appear to be away from the controller because it's an easy kill. And, they never really know if that person's pretending to be, moving or not. If you can, go prone and use dead bodies as cover. Pretend to be dead. There's also a trick where you can, I know for a fact works in Modern Warfare. I don't know about a Battlefield or whatever, but you can just lie on the ground and constantly switch weapons as if you're like a dead glitching body, and then immediately just pop anyone. You see this in a lot of trolling videos, but it's not. They've really devalued. They've really turned into something else to try to make it appear to be something else. This is a very viable and usable tactic. It's not going to work all the time, of course, because if you do it repeatedly in a game, People will get wise to your shit and use it on you. So constantly be changing things up. Have all the different techniques in mind that you thought of and that you've known before. Learn as much as you can and be ready to implement them at all times. Keep as big of a tool set you can, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems in the game. And by problems, I mean I'm not really talking about like, you know, uh, breaks and whatnot. I'm talking about just other players trying to attack you and whatnot. Your enemies and everything. They have to be treated as problems, and basically things to work. Things that are going to match appropriate techniques. Obviously you're not going to use a grenade when your enemy's out of the blast radius. That's just counter objective and everything. Just constantly have an aim in mind. Get creative, be opportunistic, wring the value out of everything you possibly can. Wring as much value out of what you have as you can. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can tell you. If there's anything you'd like to add, feel free to add in the comments section. If there's anything I missed, definitely do that. Of course, this video is, of course, to help people, so I guess in a sense it's sort of community project, and I'm open to, having other people add knowledge. So yeah, if you can help me, definitely do it. If not, you found this helpful, great. That's actually what I wanted to do. Yeah, it's time to end this video. So yeah, I hope this video helped you and everything, and I don't know, look forward to